So I'm excited to be here.
I am too.
I think that we've been on a journey for the past, I don't even know however many months.
That's
right?
true.
So I think that it would be great for us and for everyone who's joining us on our road trip.
You guys.
To maybe know a little bit about how we got started and what in the world it's been like for us to work together and what some of the brainstorms and lightning bolts and runaway moments have been as we've started this journey. Sound like a plan?
I think that's a great plan.
We should probably tell them who we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm Valerie.
I'm Cynthia.
And we don't have an us thing.
Well, we have a thing called mysteryroadtrip.com.
No, we have a thing called roadtripmystery.com.
I always do that. Okay.
So together we are roadtripmystery.com.
I always think, oh, I should have RTM as the initials, and then I forget that too.
And this is part of why we work well together.
Yes. Okay. So let's talk about how we started this idea.
How much do you want to talk about?
Let's do it.
We had some frustration, right?
Yes.
Yes.
We were doing a mystery knit along last year.
We were texting a lot. And we were texting about this pattern that we were knitting, and she had gotten to a part that I had experienced frustration with a week or two before, and in her frustration she says, "Next year I'm writing my own pattern." And I responded with, if you want a collaborator or a tech editor or a test knitter or a cheerleader, let me know.
And I said, I want a collaborator. Let's do it.
And just like that, Road Trip Mystery was born.
Yes.
Except we didn't know it was Road Trip Mystery.
No, we had no idea what we were doing. We just knew we were going to do a mystery. So...
And we knew it was going to be choose your own. That was something that was instantaneous when we were texting in that first conversation. You said, I know, we should each write a section of the pattern and they should be interchangeable and people can choose a Cynthia section or a Valerie section.
Exactly.
And I thought that was a really fun idea because I remember like choose your own mysteries.
Those
when I was a kid, I
fun.
loved reading those.
They are always fun.
And you could read them like hundreds of times and it would be different.
Exactly.
Every time. And our shawl is the same way. Maybe not hundreds of permutations, but with...
You could make hundreds of shawls. That would be fine if you had the time.
The beauty of it is that they'll be different.
Exactly.
Every single one will be different because, and you always get that a little bit because color choices, right?
Yeah, exactly. But this will be really fun. So on this shawl, there are 9 different stops or legs, and every time that you come to one, you get to choose between Valerie's pattern and my pattern, and that should be very fun to see how people interchange things.
The very first one actually is the same. We decided we'd start from exactly the same point.
True, but not much is going on there.
Right.
So it's just the beginning.
We wanted to give you an easy start, to ease your way in, get familiar with your yarn, just to get the rhythm of the pattern.
Exactly.
So
let's talk about the shape of the shawl and the different things that are going on in the shawl and why we planned it that way.
Okay.
How's
So the past 2 years for our knit-alongs for Local Yarn Shop Day, the first year we did a triangle, and that was fun and interesting. And then last year it was more of a crescent shawl.
Right.
This year we were inspired actually by this shawl that I'm wearing. This is a shawl I made. It's called Amenhacer. I really love the shape and the size. If you can't tell, she's small, I'm big, and so when I look for shawls, I actually look at measurements, and it doesn't matter how much I like the design. If there's not a way to expand it to a measurement I like, that I feel will fit me, I don't buy it. And this one, I was really excited because it was expandable, but I also really liked the shape. It's more of a half octagon than a half circle, but we liked the shape.
Right.
But one of the things I find annoying about shawls like this is that there's no space for my neck. This section always gets bunched up at the
Yes,
back of
that
my
always
neck.
bothers me too.
So we decided to roughly use the shape of the shawl minus this section, so we'd have a little cutout for the neck. And I'm really excited about the way it's draping around
It
our
is
shoulders.
nice.
I think one of the other things we wanted, so many times I've made these beautiful shawls that have all these gorgeous stitch patterns, and then what do? You take the shawl and you scrunch it up like this around your neck, and all of a sudden you can't see any of that hard work. We wanted to make sure that the shape of our shawl was such that all that beautiful stitch work you do, it shows and
just
is
like
beautiful.
this.
Yes, beautiful.
The other thing about it is that we wanted, every time we've done knit-alongs on shawls, it pushes everyone so
Right.
hard that they don't finish, or they're lagging a year later, and it just kind of gets exhausting and they feel stressed. And so what we wanted to do was spread out the clues so that you're working on a realistic timetable, and also so that as you have longer rows as you go in a shawl, that you have longer time to do them. So that's going to be really nice for everyone too, I think. So you have basically the whole summer to do this shawl,
Yes.
which is going to be how long it takes anyway.
And we're going on a road trip, so we're planning rest stops along the way.
Yes.
Because everyone needs a break.
We
So we really wanted to stretch it out and give you that time. But when we did 2 years ago, that first clue came out, and it was so much knitting.
Right.
And when I did the math, I realized that 40% of the knitting for that shawl was done in 1 week.
And that's an awful big push.
I think
So
there were only 2
basically-
of us who made it.
Yeah. So
And you weren't one of them.
no, I was not. I like slow things. So anyway, our new shawl is going to be much more humane, I guess we'll call it. I think
Be
that'll
kind
be good.
to your knitters. Maybe they'll come
Yeah.
back for another pattern.
Exactly. So the other thing we should talk about is visiting Will and Dave of Meadowcroft.
Oh my word, that was so much fun.
It was. Yeah, that was a great day. So we love Meadowcroft Dye Works yarns, and we decided that since this shawl is going to be called Pennsylvania Road Trip, that we thought having a Pennsylvania hand dyer would be a good idea. So we went to a place called Meadowcroft Dye Works, which is in southwestern Pennsylvania, in the middle of nowhere.
Nowhere.
Really nowhere.
But it's like the home of civilization on the North American continent.
It turns
The
out
oldest
16,000
structures
years
ever.
ago, there was civilization there. So we visited Dave and Will, and we put together 10 different color combinations. Well, we actually put together way more than that, but we came home and narrowed it down. We decided that probably 50 color combinations wasn't such a great idea. So we narrowed it down to 10. And so those 10 color combinations are on our website, which is now called
roadtripmystery.com.
And you can go there and see them all. So
Yes.
it was a really nice day. Will and Dave are such nice, lovely people, and we were really happy to be able to support them. And the yarn shops that are doing knit-alongs with us also have their yarns for the most
A lot
part.
of them do, and we
Yeah.
do have a note on our website who's carrying the Meadowcroft Dye Works. You do not have to use Meadowcroft Dye Works yarn for this, but we just love their colors.
Yeah, and it was, as we said, it was such a fun idea to use a Pennsylvania yarn for a Pennsylvania road trip.
Let's talk about us.
Let's talk about us.
You and me, and
Okay.
me and you. We're so different.
We are. We are.
And it doesn't just stop with small and big or big and small.
No.
Like details. Oh my word.
Broad
Big
scope.
picture. But even with what we choose to knit in general, it's been interesting over the years. As I've been looking at shawls and choosing projects.
Yeah,
that's nice. And she does a project. Well, that's nice.
but we wouldn't wear each other's things. But this project has been kind of cool because we've been so collaborative on it.
Yeah.
I think I would actually knit your shawl. And probably vice versa.
What's been funny to me as I've been thinking of course, as we were creating, we were each knitting only our own stitches, right?
Right.
So I have a shawl that is all of my stitch patterns, and Cynthia has a shawl that is all her stitch patterns. And then we've been knitting the opposite person's shawl
Just to be sure.
just to make sure their work is right. But I've been thinking about, do I want to do a third shawl? And I might, because as I see what you've come up with, and they're I'll admit some of my designs I like better than some of yours, but some
And
of yours
vice
I like
versa.
better than
Right.
some of mine. And so that gives me the opportunity
Pick the best of
to
both.
pick the best.
Yeah, I think it'll be
I think
fun.
it'll be fun to do that.
The other thing that's different about us is our tension. And
Oh, my
that's
word,
actually
yes.
a really good thing to talk about because Valerie has the same tension I do. She's working her shawl. We're doing the same yarn,
So we have the same gauge.
same gauge.
Right.
She's on a size 6 needle and I'm on a size 3 needle. So this is the reason that gauge matters. On some levels, gauge doesn't matter for shawls, but on other levels, you could run out of yarn. Now, as a yarn shop owner, I like that idea. But you may not like that idea quite so much. So we do suggest at the beginning of the shawl that you do a gauge swatch for it, and it won't take you very long, but you'll at least know what your tension is.
We always pick different colors.
We do. I
We're
pick-
we're okay today.
Right.
We
But that's
planned
because
that.
we planned it, yeah. I would normally wear rust, but it doesn't look so great with that color. Teal works out. So yeah, we have different coloring. So you can, again, we chose color packs that look good with everyone's coloring. So you can choose what you like.
Right.
And some color packs that we have don't look good on each other. Some look good on neither of us. Some look good, maybe some look good on both of us. I sort of doubt that.
Probably not.
But it allows you to play with whatever color you want. So
Yeah.
that's good. Should we talk about future plans?
I suppose we could.
We should.
We should.
We haven't even started this one though. But what we have is a big idea that I came up with.
And somewhere along the way, I will narrow it down to
Exactly.
an actual thing.
Yes. So when we started this whole idea, I was thinking that it would be really fun to each year do a different mystery and to do a different road trip. So we started with Pennsylvania just because we both live here. But as years go on, I don't know how many, we called our site roadtripmystery.com so that we can play with different places and different things we're going to do.
Different
And
themes.
Yeah.
Seriously, we could.
do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Don't spill any ideas. Sorry. But we will.
We have other road
different-
trips planned.
We do. We have 8 planned. So for the next 8 years, maybe 20 years, we'll be doing this shawl. It'll be, but different shawls every year.
There's enough fodder. We could probably do 20 Pennsylvania shawls.
That's true.
Hasn't that has been one of the hardest things.
It
When you're
has
doing
been so hard.
a shawl. There are 67 counties in Pennsylvania. There are 9 legs
Right.
on our shawl. So
we've had to eliminate so much, and it has been so difficult. And it's been very interesting learning a lot about Pennsylvania, which we'll talk about as we go through the shawl, and we plan to do some blogging and talk about some places other than things that we were directly inspired by with our shawl, because it's overwhelming.
it is. And the more I look, the more I find.
Right.
And now because Facebook has figured out that I'm interested in things about Pennsylvania.
It's
oh
worse,
my word,
right?
my news feed is so full. But it's really interesting. This morning there was an article about 1,000 Steps, which is an area with a hike. There are literally 1,000 steps to get from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain. And I didn't know this. It was where there was coal mining, and so the workers lived at the bottom of the mountain, and they had to climb those 1,000 steps every day to get to the top of the mountain to go to work.
Wow.
And then they came back down and slept at the base of the mountain, which that's a lot of steps. They had to be really fit.
It's hard work.
I am not that fit.
No, neither am I. That's one thing we're alike on. Neither one of us is fit, so it works out. We have good knitting muscles, probably.
and knitting injuries to go with them.
Yeah, so we're working on that too, though.
We are. We're trying to knit smarter.
Which is one of the reasons we spread out the clues. We didn't want anything.
We didn't want to induce any tendonitis or shoulder pain.
In either us or anyone else.
Exactly.
So come join us. We're going to release the packing list, which is all the supplies you need, on April 10th. You can buy the pattern now. It's called Pennsylvania Road Trip. It's on Ravelry. Just go to Ravelry, type in Pennsylvania Road Trip in the search engine, and you will come up with the pattern. We'll release the actual packing list, everything that you need to go on this trip with us on April 10th. And then our first clue will be released on Local Yarn Shop Day, which is April 25th. So we hope that you buy the supplies you need for this shawl from your local yarn shop. That is our whole point. We want you to buy local and actually go into a yarn shop if at all possible.
As the person who doesn't own a local yarn shop here, I'm going to put in the plug because I have worked in small independent retail, and I have had to be a part of the closing of 2 local stores. They weren't yarn stores, but the heartache of doing that, just because it's so hard to compete with the internet. The value of the knowledge of a local yarn shop is amazing. And plus, I just love to see the colors in person and see how they're going to mesh and meld.
Yeah.
And you can't feel the yarn on the internet.
No.
It's squishy. I'm tactile.
And the colors are never quite the same.
They aren't.
No.
If we don't support our local yarn shops, they won't be here when we need them. You know, if you need advice on that hard pattern that just doesn't make sense, or if you need to match a color and you really need to see it in person, right? We want our yarn shops to be here.
We really do.
I've discovered it's just a great place for community. I've had fun in all the classes that I've taken and the ones that I've taught. And it's been great to just come together as knitters. So anyway, Local Yarn Shop Day is a great day to celebrate your local yarn shop, but don't let that be the only day you support your local yarn shop, because throughout this project, there will be prizes. Yes, we're bribing you.
Oh, right, the prizes.
So throughout the experience of the Road Trip Mystery, you can take selfies at local yarn shops and post them on social media, Facebook and Instagram. We have pages in both places, and they're called Road Trip Mystery in both places. So you can tag us and tag the shop that you selfied at.
And please don't feel as if you have to tag a shop only that's participating. You can actually tag any local yarn shop.
Yes,
we really encourage that, because we think that local yarn shops are so important that we care about that the most.
Right. So each leg of our journey, you can selfie at a local yarn shop. Take a little road trip. Go visit others.
Yes.
Ooh.
And when you do a selfie, hold up your shawl where you're at.
Right.
That's all you really have to do. You don't have to take a picture of your face if you don't like to do that. And then that counts.
That counts, yes. So we'll be giving away prizes for each leg of the journey, and then we will have a grand prize at the completion of everything. So we are excited to give stuff away, and we are excited for you to go support local yarn shops all over the country. And hey, we're international now.
That's true. We're in
Because
Canada.
we've got a shop in Canada who's participating.
Yes.
And of course, wherever you are, we are limiting entries to North America, right?
I think we have to
Just
do that.
because of mailing and postage and that sort of thing. So
And we're a
maybe
small business.
if you guys make this thing huge
Then we can go international,
Like,
really huge.
around the globe.
Yes.
But this
that would
year,
be great.
as we're learning
Yes.
and going on this adventure for the first time, North America.
Yes. So we hope you win the prizes.
Yes.
And we hope you enjoy this whole journey. And we can't wait to get started.
And we can't wait to see your shawls.
Exactly. That's going to be so fun.
Yes.